It's an honor and privilege to be here after being here for a short 2.5 years, serving at the Source Chiropractic Tucson. Got my mentor, Dr. Brett Jones, in the building. Got Dr. Charity Lenhoff in the building, one of my coworkers. And I got some of my good people here, as I think it's perfect that I get to speak on pride. As a fun fact, I'm a Leo astrologically, and lions together are actually called a pride. And I share that because community has been one of the biggest tools and assets to reflect at myself to build up my own pride. As I think pride is an antidote and is one of the biggest assets, energies, frequencies that helped me heal when I was younger, when I didn't have any pride in myself. Pride can be that bridge, can be that strength, can be that ability to stand tall when you're getting bullied or when you don't have that. Because in the absence of pride, I think you get more susceptible to what the world tells you what you are. Because there's a lot of people right now that I think are either going into a storm, they're in a storm right now, or they just got out of one. And I think that there's a lot of juice to be squeezed, a lot of nectar to be enjoyed when you can pay attention to what you've gone through. Have pride in what it is to be a human. Having pride, faith, in your body's ability to heal and adapt naturally. I think that's a lost art, and people don't believe or have pride in themselves as a human, when we are the most intelligent and adaptable species on this earth. The ability to leverage our mind and our body to be able to change our lives and our circumstances. See, because y'all might see this, but y'all didn't see me when I was 9, had a little afro, mixed boy, didn't know who I was because I wasn't black enough, didn't know who I was because I couldn't speak Spanish even though I'm Peruvian as well, disconnected from myself. And the importance and the charge from that is that I feel like my life up until I honestly met that man was a reflection of not having pride in myself or having misperception of myself and how powerful and how strong I actually was. Because everyone has experienced a trauma, they're experiencing negative thoughts, or they're experiencing toxins in the form of people or nourishment in their community. And that disconnects us, or that creates an interference from our God-given power, the strength that we came with as an extension of nature to experience more of this life. Not just some of it, and not just a little bit. I want y'all to be able to experience all of it and be able to experience more breath, experience more courage, and be able to have more faith in yourself of wherever you're at to be able to experience more life. Am I good? Sweet. Oh, nice. Okay. A little bit about me, as I'm born and raised in East Hartford, Connecticut, and one main thing that I want to drive home for y'all that I got to refine earlier when we had an event called Soul Revival is the concept of ancestral pride or familial pride, as I think that gives us a leverage point, or it gives us an image that's very, very potent in order to shift our lives. Because if you don't have pride in yourself, that's okay, but you can leverage or you can tap into the mirrors around you, your loved ones, where you can take a good look inside in case you forget. So that way they can remind you and they can extract from you, they can pull from you and they can reflect to you, hey, pick your head up. You're doing better than you think you are. Because both of my parents came from poverty. My mom was an immigrant from Peru. She couldn't speak English when she was here. And I distinctly remember going through elementary school, going through middle school, the rough times that, oh man, so rough. That when I didn't know who I was, or people would be saying whatever it is that they were saying, that she'd be like, mijo, always pick your head up and walk with pride. She would always tell me to keep my shoulders back and to be able to walk with pride. And it's amazing that I get to reflect that, because people were bullying her because she looked different, because her hair was long, because she couldn't speak English. Take your pick. Kids are jerks. And I think a lot of the time there's a fracturing of a part of ourselves when we are younger, when we are still developing, that then a lot of adults carry with them and they don't ever know how to acknowledge or bring light to, but then that comes out in the form of being triggered, in the form of showing up in the certain way that you are. And when you have this sense of awareness and when you have this ability to be able to carry yourself with pride, regardless of the external circumstances, that you can adapt and you can shift your internal perspective of it. And that's something that my mom was a master of. And you know a component to pride? Go ahead, guess. Oh, nice, humility, nice. Hey, someone participated. Thank you. I'd say humility and love. And a lot of people, I don't think, remember or have been disconnected from a very potent image or like agape level of love. Like, people don't know love. People might meet me and they ask, literally my coworkers are like, hey, is he like this like all the time? Yes, I am. Because I've been able to transmute from where I come from, because I come from being traumatized sexually when I was younger. And it wasn't the trauma, it wasn't the event itself, it wasn't the event itself that was the worst part. The worst part about it was the humiliation from it. How I was scorned at, how I was laughed at, how whenever I would get bullied or made fun of, times after that, from when I was 9 all the way through high school, all the way into college. There was this void in my heart and that I was carrying in my energy that I didn't know how to give love to, that I didn't know how to heal, that I didn't know that even existed because I had repressed it in my mind. And the beautiful part about it was community was the ones that called me forth, because I channeled that repressed anger, that repressed emotion into my legs and into sports, so that way I could will my way into a university, which I didn't even know was possible until my high school coach was like, hey, where do you want to go to school? I was like, for what? He's like, to run track. I said, what? He said, yeah, you can go to UConn and be part of the pack, or you can go to CCSU and be one of the top dogs. I said, oh, okay. But it goes back to that community, the ability for your community to reflect at you power and things that you might not see within yourself, and that is powerful. And if you want to talk about the power when it comes to being a human, take a good look at this. Go ahead, look at your body, look at yourself. There's this beautiful intelligence that's natural and that's governing it, that took 2 cells and turned it into 30 to 70 trillion that are all responding in accordance to the status of your brain, which is a reflection of the quality of your mind. And if you need to go beyond that, take a good look at your ancestors, your parents' parents, and so on and so forth. I had this thought the other day. My grandma transitioned and passed, mi abuelita, in February. And when I was feeling all the feels, it just made me think of my name. My name is actually Dr. Jamal Früster Cortez. But it also made me think about my other grandparents' names. So you got your grandma, then your grandpa. So what's your grandmother's maiden name? And it would be Jamal Früster Robinson Cortez Zegarra. And it just made me think, how many people don't know just a few spots or just a few generations back? And there's so much power because those are your roots, y'all. Those are your roots. Those are what gave you life. Those are what gave you a lot of charge. So if you don't know where you're at or how to navigate where it is that you're at, first and foremost, you got to have a community that supports you, of course, but not just affirms you, challenges you, called you forward. Because when I got through undergrad as a D1 sprinter, I then was able to transition all that pain into power. And then from there, I was able to apply that power to then when I saw a chiropractor, when I was working for him, whenever people would come in like this. I used to be a scribe, so I would type up all the things. They would come in and they would literally be in this curled, lifeless, stressed position. And then after, they'd be like, hey, Jamal. Damn, bro, I didn't even know you see me. Because that's when it clicked for me. That's when it became whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, I want to do that for people. I want to reconnect people back to the essence of themselves. I want to help pull the shit off of their shoulders, off of their being, off of their energy, off of their expression, so that way they can authentically be them. Because the chiropractic meaning of life is the expression of intelligence through matter. Matter being this beautiful vessel, the intelligence being that which organizes and keeps this earth afloat and not plummeting to the floor of the universe. Y'all with me? So it is your duty to authentically express yourself, so that way you can give people who are also going through that similar storm right now hope, inspiration, space, and ability just to be seen. And it comes not just through your words, it comes from your expression, baby. It's what you don't say. It's how you look at them. It's how you give good hugs. Thank you. It's how you give that presence. And if you're there already, there's also people that are gonna go through it, which is why, I'm not separate from y'all. We're one and the same. We're just experiencing this universe in different facets and aspects, and that's the beauty. Because when you have a biodiverse community of paths, of trauma, of things that they've overcome, and you come together and you get to commune, it feels so good. Give me a if you with me. Give me a for Creative Mornings Tucson. Thank you, Jen M. and all the Creative Mornings team. Can we get some love from them? Can we get some love for them? One of the main things that I want to impart to you in leveraging your ancestry, understanding your story, being able to allocate your resources to heal. It's so important to be able to acknowledge and recognize yourself. As when I got to chiropractic school, I couldn't do it anymore. I was depressed. I was anxious my first quarter. I was homesick because your boy was in Georgia, very far from Connecticut. I got out of a bad relationship. So I was just getting everything just stomped in lovingly while taking 28 credits. It was great. It was so great. And at the end of that quarter, I declared to myself, hey, God, universe, I was like, I can't do this no more. Because I was going out still, just trying to fill that void, right? Outside in, trying to find something or latch onto something outside of myself because I wasn't a D1 sprinter anymore. So that identity was dying too. Identity is a whole nother conversation. But my second quarter, I met that man right over there. And in affirmation at a chiropractic seminar that he was facilitating, there was a piece of me that I felt that I was able to finally acknowledge. And he said to himself, he said, I love you and I'm proud of you. And when he said that, I just lost it for the next 10 minutes because out of the 23 years at that point, I had never said, I love you and I'm proud of you. Even though my mom, even though my parents always showing up to everything, whether it was I was getting pinned wrestling, whether I was running for 47 seconds on the track, they were always there. But I couldn't see that in front of myself because one aspect of pride is worthiness. One aspect of pride is deserving. You deserve what you are getting. You deserve to dream big. You are worthy to receive the love that is around you because some people are resistant to that or they're like, oh, I don't know what I did to deserve this. It's the fact that you're here. It's the fact that you made it through whatever you made it through. It's the fact that you're alive. It's the fact that your heart is still beating. People are depending on you. People need you. When it comes to your purpose, it goes beyond you. It's not about you. It's about the generations that are coming after you, or it's about the people that are in proximity to you. One of my favorite aspects of Tucson is y'all pride in the community. I love that y'all so proud of it. I love it so much, I'm gonna stay longer. Because I didn't have that where I grew up at. Because I was so disconnected and fragmented from it. So the fact that there's the most nonprofits in the world per capita in the United States in Tucson, that's amazing. The fact that you are at where you're at and we get to acknowledge that we're on native lands is amazing. The fact that you get to acknowledge where you're here right now, once more, wherever you're at, where you're at, is amazing. But it's important to slow down. It's important to slow down and give yourself permission. You gotta give yourself permission to slow down. You gotta give yourself permission to heal. You gotta give yourself permission to reflect and be able to appreciate your life so that way you can adapt it. Health is the intellectual ability to adapt. Health is the intellectual ability to adapt. And if you just keep going and going and going at the pace that you are, and you're not allowing yourself to give yourself recognition for all that you've done, for all that you've sacrificed, for all that you've provided for, you're missing out on some of the essence of life for you. And that's the weight of it. When you recognize and you have the space to slow down and be like, damn, it's amazing to be here. This is beyond anything I could have imagined in grad school. To be of service to a city, to serve with one of my favorite mentors and people in the world, to make good community and good friends with good people. Here, I'm looking at them. Like that I got to start my chiropractic profession with. I call my OGs, my first people in practice. I got one of them over there too. I got one right there. It is so special to be able to recognize yourself because there is spirit fuel that is waiting for you to nourish and squeeze that. It just brings you alive. But we're in a society that is determined to try and strip you of your power and keep you distracted and keep you robbed of your focus and of your energy. One of my favorite lessons from that man was, if you can learn how to govern your focus and you learn how to take care of your energy, you can move mountains, you can move worlds in this lifetime. And that focus needs to come to you, because after working with so many providers, I've probably taken care of 8,000 to 10,000 people in my life at this point, which is really cool. And with that being said, one of the main things when it comes to healing, you can't keep doing the things that you're doing if you want to have a different result. So if you're experiencing anxiety, if you're experiencing depression, if you're experiencing low back pain, migraines, understand this last point. Any of the signs and symptoms of your life that your body is trying to communicate to you is a sign for you to slow down and pay attention. That's why we say PAIN as an acronym. Pay attention inside now. Dr. Brett Jones. Always cite your source. And I get it, it's hard. And I'll close on this because I got about one more minute because I want to maximize time for Q&A. Notice what you notice what's going on in your life. Your feelings and your emotions are a gift to direct you in your life and where you're at. And when you can slow down and be able to appreciate yourself through reflection, I love some journaling, community, masterminding, talking to people, humbling yourself. Asking good questions. What am I missing? What am I not seeing? What's something that I could focus more on? What's something that I'm doing really well? Take a good look in the mirror, and like a good look in the mirror. And don't be attached to what comes up, and don't get stuck into it, because once more, when you can gather your resources, you'll see that you are already doing way better than you think you are. I got a shirt that says you're doing great. I didn't wear it because y'all deserve me in a suit. But just know you're doing better than you think you are, and I like to think that you're doing great. And I'm so excited to dive in Q&A and be able to support. I have a podcast. Feel free to write it down, as I got some stickers for some special folk. I got some stickers, but it's called Soul Coffee, so you can connect to me over there. As I have about 67 episodes, guided meditations, some monologues, and it's all focused around cultivating yourself and taking care of yourself if you are a provider. So go get some soul coffee, make sure you're caffeinated at the soul level, you know what I'm saying? And if you need any support or help or whatever it may be, or space being held for you with your healing journey, well, you can find me at, of course, the Source Chiropractic Tucson. We do workshops, we do events. As 10 minutes, 15 minutes ain't enough. So you're more than welcome, and let this be an invitation for y'all to come on in and take a good look in the mirror, come get nurtured, and come get poured into. Thank you so much.